to say that AI can serve as a sort of lingua franca for cooperation, okay, and governance, but because it allows a database or fact-based dialogue between different disciplines, right? And in particular, the AI models can also serve to aggregate in a way or consolidate dispersed or limited data in order to make then actionable decisions that take into account the diversity in the region. And this is, I would say, and later I would say an example on a particular project that we are working on that and contributing to that. And another thing is to say that AI is also critical for understanding complex ecosystems, because it allows also to understand the causal relationships between the different organisms. For example, using AI, we can discover what are the key species that should be preserved in order to ensure the sustainability of an ecosystem. One interesting example that we always put into front is the example of whales. Okay, I mean, we all love whales, and of course they are beautiful, they are smart, but they have also a key role in ecosystems as they feed in bigger depth, and they go into the surface to rest, and they are, I mean, doing number one and number two, and therefore return nutrients to the surface, allowing the growing of algae. And this is critical for the functioning of the ecosystem, and it's critical also for the dynamic of the functioning of the ecosystem. And I can say also that AI is critical for discovering the relationships between this, because it is able to extract knowledge and from the data, and even if this knowledge is framed in a very final signal. And I want just to mention in this respect a project, and I wanted to just to recalibrate my speech and address your question specifically concerning what could be the approach of the AI in this respect in the region, by putting into front a project that we have that is it's called Oceania project, that is led, but in Chile is in fact a Franco-Chilean project. We have a consortium of more than 30 researchers and also students and so on, and positioning myself as an AI researcher working on the intersection of the AI and climate change, and now specifically leading the project Oceania. I think it's important to put into front all of this, because there are a lot of critical issues that we tackle in the framework of this project, right? The project Ocean AI focuses on the artificial intelligence and modeling for understanding oceans and climate change within the Chilean context, but also in the global context, and potentially broader collaborations offer, because we think that broader collaborations offers unique avenues for AI also to contribute. And with respect specifically to the role of AI in cooperation and governance, in particular within the Ocean AI project scope, given that this project is a research-focused project, its impacts on cooperation and governance will be likely, be true. Okay, so, and this is why we are, in this respect, developing concrete tools that can lead not only to governance, but only to policy decision making, right? This is why we are developing in the framework of this project foundational AI models and also tools. We are creating new state-of-the-art in the area, specifically tailored to marine environment and climate impact. And this is initially research-oriented, but can become the foundation for future decision support system used by governmental agencies, NGO, even local communities. The project at the end, what aim is to open research and potential for open source tools that can foster collaboration among the researchers and also the practitioners. That's the first thing. the other thing is that by providing, we provide, through this, the objectives and the specific objectives of the project, scientific evidence for policy, right? So the research that we have been conducting inside the Ocean AI project can generate crucial evidence and scientific evidence about the impact of climate change through the marine ecosystems, right? The changes in ocean currents, the acidification effects of shellfish, the impacts on fisheries, for example. And we are building robust AI-driven analysis and modeling that can provide policymakers with data-backed insights to inform the development of evidence-based policies and also regulations. And we are working a lot on facilitating data sharing, because this is crucial and very important, and also visualizations for the stakeholders, because these projects not also is focusing on developing platforms and concrete tools for visualizing complex oceanographic and climate data in an accessible way, but also in a way that connects also these questions that come from the interdisciplinary areas, right? And they can come to contribute to the policymakers and also to the public in general. So this, at the end, what we want is to, with this project that is already a project funded by INRIA in France, by a tool of INRIA Challenge is the name of the tool, and we already have involved not only different INRIA teams in France, but also other partners like CNRS, like Tara Oceans, and in the case of Chile, this is a project that is global, but is led by INRIA in Chile, also in partnership with other research institutions in Chile, like University of Chile and Catholic University of Chile. And what we're trying also to build, not only, the tools, the frameworks, the scientific evidence, but also we're trying to build an interdisciplinary research network. And this is very important because this is, again, a research project, but innately it fosters cooperation in itself. But what we want is not only to foster the cooperation between the AI community, but also in connection with marine biologists, climate scientists, and potentially social scientists. So this is really an interdisciplinary collaboration, which is crucial for developing holistic solutions as a complex problem as it is the ocean and the climate challenges, right? And this is for, I don't know how I'm going with the time. I'm okay? Can I continue? If not, I can stop here. Hello?
Dr. Gale, you're muted, sorry.
Okay. So I think that I am not sure that we are on time.
Yes, we have time.
We have time. So go on, please.
Everyone can have another little round if you want.
Okay, great. So just quickly, just to address another point that is important in the role of AI with respect to the restoration of the critical ecosystems. And how are we tackling this in the framework of the Ocean AI project scope? Because at the end, what we are doing, as I already said, is to build these platforms and to build these concrete tools. And what we're trying to do is to improve the monitoring and assessment of the ecosystem health at the end. So we have concrete tools, AI-powered concrete tools that use data and concrete data, not only satellite imagery data, but also on the water sensoring data, which in the project may contribute to or utilize to provide a detailed and also an efficient assessment on the health of the extent of critical ecosystem, like, for example, the seagrass beds, the coral reefs, and this can, of course, inform the prioritization and monitoring of restoration efforts. And this is something that, again, they are a science-based tool that works in an accuracy and reliability for the assessments and dependent on the quality and also on the availability of the data. But today we are working with a knowledge base, a database that is very, quality database of data from different sources, not only satellite data, but also other data that have been collected during all those years, particularly in marine expeditions like the Tara Oceans has been doing for so many years in around the world. And this is for improving monitoring and the health assessment of the ecosystem, right? And then we're also working in model the ecosystem dynamics and to model restoration scenarios. And this is very important because at the end, in the conversions of the AI and numerical modeling, this is a key aspect in the project, in Oceania project. We can simulate the dynamics of the ecosystem and predict potential outcomes. For example, if we change the temperature in some sense, how can this affect the whole ecosystem, and how what could be the possible scenarios and the restoration strategies that we can follow. So again, these are we're working on science-based tools that can drive at the end the policy and can contribute to the governance of all of that. And finally, last but not least, I have another example that is to detect and monitor the threats of the ecosystem. And this is something different that has to do with the way we analyze the data to protect and to detect and monitor all the threats of the ecosystem. By threats, I mean the pollution events, how we have invasive species, the impact of the agriculture, for example, and this is something very critical in Chile. And the early detection of all of this can enable then the timely interventions to protect and also to restore all of these environments. So we are completely on that, and the good news is that at the end what we are doing is using the AI for a common good, right? For a common purpose, and this is really important because it's really at the core mission of what we do, not only in Chile but also in France. And this project is an example, a very good example on that. Thank you so much. I will stop here and we'll let for questions if we have time.
Dr. Gail, you're mute again.
Sorry. Thank you so much for this information, and also you give us the taste of what is AI. A question about digital twin. Are you working with this in your horizon, or what are the?
Is this a question for me?
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Yes, so when you present us the different aspects that you are thinking of or you are working on, we see that there is a diversity of space where AI will be very powerful for solving questions and for helping us to modelize, to evaluate a lot of things. I was thinking about the digital twin for the ocean, which were discussed and which will be discussed, I think, at the UNOX 3. What is your position by that?
I mean, this is a great and complex idea and challenge, I would say, because building the digital twin of the ocean, I mean, we can imagine creating a highly detailed dynamic, because the complexity of the ocean is that it's dynamic, it's moving, right? And also an interactive virtual replica of the ocean. In fact, we have been working in the past with, I would say, small digital twin or replica of what a simulator at the end of what is happening, for example, when a tsunami comes to the coast. And this is really very difficult problem, because it encompasses not only physical issues, but also chemical, biological, even socioeconomic dimensions that you need to put into all of this model. And this is just a static model, it's a living thing, right? That is breathing, I mean, with the days and the counterparts, and it's near real time by continuously ingesting a vast amounts of data of the ocean. We need to, I mean, it's important that we know we know less of the ocean than the universe, right? So this is critical, right? So there are key components here. If we're thinking on, I don't know if this will be addressed or was already addressed in the panel, but there are critical components with respect to the digital twins of the ocean that has to do, first of all, with the data, but the data integrations, I mean, there are foundations on that, in respect of how do you assimilate all of these diverse data sets from different sources, and how you fuse all of this information from all of these sensors and those type of sensor, right? The other thing is the advanced modeling, right? There are sophisticated numerical models and that has to do, that includes the ocean physics, the biology, the biochemistry, the ecology, the dynamic functioning of the ocean, that needs also to simulate all the currents, the temperatures, the salinity, the distributions, the nutrients. There are many things, and of course, artificial intelligence, and in particular machine learning, are critical for all of that, because for data simulation we need AI for all of that, right? For pattern recognition, to identify anomalies, the trends, the relationship, we need AI.
Yes,
For
yes.
predictive analytics, forecasting future ocean conditions, we need AI. For understanding the complexity of
Yes,
all that
yes.
and extract insights, we need AI. So there are many challenges, but this is a very good challenge, in fact.
Okay, I am sorry, but I receive a message. We are late now, and so I will have to perhaps to close. Is it time to finish? Yes.
Yes, Dr. Gay, you can pop if you want with your thoughts.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you very much to all the speakers, and thank you also for giving us a lot of ideas about the way in which ECLAC will in the future will be very important. And also, I think that for Unit 3, it will be very important to have your thoughts, your results, and also the questions that you are leading. And so thank you again, and I give the floor to the organizers.
Thank you very much for that panel. We really appreciate your contribution and your commitment to helping us in this panel number 3. Greetings, au revoir. We'll hopefully see you in France at UNOD. Thank you. Ok, entonces en este momento estaríamos en condiciones el panel 3, el 2 y el 2 ya lo cerró. Y no sé si escuchan una traducción que yo no estoy pudiendo. Ok, entonces en la sesión de cierre de estos Blue Talks, lo que vamos a realizar, entiendo que tenemos ya conectado al señor Renaud Collar, a la señora Adriana Murillo, la embajadora, y el señor Javier Medina. No sé si me pueden confirmar si están. Señor Renaud Collar, primer consejero de la Embajada de Francia en Chile.